Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, I am bringing you my week 4 budget update. You did not see a budget update from me for week 3, and that's not because I didn't budget, but because I didn't film it. I was really sick, dealing with some sort of upper respiratory thing. I am still struggling a little bit with some symptoms. I think that it's sort of flared up my pulmonary sarcoidosis because I'm dealing with some wheezing and some shortness of breath. So I apologize if I sound a little breathy in this video. I am doing my best, but I did not want to leave you with another week of no budget update. So we are going to take a quick look at week 3 so I can just show you how I did. I just kind of budgeted off camera. Then we're going to budget for week 4, or check in, I guess, for week 4. We're going to talk about everything I spent. So we'll fill out an expense tracker and we'll kind of wrap everything up because this week will officially end my February budget. February is not quite over yet, but those last couple of days from February, I'm going to roll over and have that be part of March's budget. So let me really quickly zoom you guys in, show you what you missed from last week. But before I do, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure that you click that subscribe button if you're interested in budget content. I post new budget and lifestyle content every week here on my channel, and I wouldn't want you to miss a video. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. You also can check out my channel membership if you're interested in even more content. I post bonus content for my channel members. I also offer my budget printables for some of the membership tiers. So if you're interested in any of that, oh, we have a kitty joining us. If you're interested in any of that, check out the join button down below. I'm going to go get Jax out of here and I will be right back to go over week 3. For those of you that are curious, this is what week 3 looked like. It was the week of February 13th through the 19th. And this is everything we spent. So for groceries, we spent $317.75. We had a big stock up plus a few extra things. It seems like with our grocery spending, for the most part, we're spending in the neighborhood of $300 a week. Now, if you're not familiar with how I budget, that grocery line item includes all of our groceries, but it also includes any pet supplies that we need. It also includes household items, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies. So it's more than just our weekly groceries, but still seems to be right about the $300 mark every week, it seems. Actually, the first couple of weeks in February, we spent less than that, which was really, really good. But this week, we obviously had to make up for that. So we spent $317.75 last week, and that left us with $566.07 remaining in our overall monthly budget. So I set a monthly budget here in this monthly section of my hybrid budget worksheet. It's a worksheet that I designed for myself. As I started to mention before the cat interrupted us, I do offer these worksheets to some of the tiers of my channel membership. So if you're interested in getting worksheets like this for yourself that you can print and use for your own budget, definitely you're going to want to join my channel membership. But yeah, so in the monthly section, I set up a monthly budget. You can see I budgeted $1,200 for the month of February because, again, I know that I spend about $300 a week. There were 4 weeks in the month of February, so $1,200 makes sense. But at the end of last week, we still had $566.07 remaining in that monthly budget. So we are so far at this point a little bit under budget, which is nice. Another area we are under budget in is Factor, and that is because I've paused my Factor membership. The start of the month, I thought that I wanted to continue with it, but we've got some other priorities for our budget and everything, so I just decided to go ahead and pause Factor and try to focus more on preparing food for myself for lunches. I was using Factor, which is a delivery service if you're not familiar, primarily to help me have like low calorie, easy prepared lunch items, but I've been trying to save a little bit of money, not use my Factor budget, And so we spent nothing in Factor again, which means I still have the $389.01. Spoiler alert, I did not get Factor in the last week of February either, so we are going to be significantly under budget in that category. And moving into March, I will likely drop that from my budget entirely. We shall see. You'll have to wait and see my March budget, which should be posted tomorrow for you. For eating out, we spent $121.68. Something that I've just kind of come to terms with is we eat out a lot. We're very busy. We are a family of 4 and we're always going in opposite directions. My husband and I are running a business full time. There's a lot going on. So we eat out a couple of times a week, sometimes more than that. We grab lunch a lot at work. So it is what it is. I need to keep that in mind for my budget moving into March. But that $121.68 spent last week left us with $225.81 for the month. For spending, we spent $158.94, and that left us with the $325.85. And if you're curious and you missed it, my budget for the month for spending and eating out is here. $500 for eating out, $600 for spending. And then last but not least, I have auto pay, which is a category for me where I just lumped anything that comes out of my bank account automatically in the month. I have a lot of little bills like streaming services and that sort of thing that just gets pulled out of my budget automatically. Rather than write all of those individual transactions here in this monthly section, I just lumped it all together in one auto pay category. And I just look at that week to week, add it up, and then at the end of the month, I will put in the actual amount. Also, last week in this monthly section, I paid my Sleep Number bill, which was $300 as expected. And that wraps up our bills for the month with the exception of auto pay. There was a couple of transactions in week 4, and that is going to bring us to week 4. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So week 4 is the week of February 20th through February 26th. And this will be the last week that we check in for. Before I can start filling in this little weekly check-in section of my hybrid budget, though, I need to share with you what we spent in the week. So we need to quickly go through my transactions. So I'm going to flip to this expense tracker for week 4. I'm zoomed in a little far, so I'm going to zoom out just a touch. And we're going to talk about all of the spending for the week. We'll go over it really quick because I don't want this video to get too long. So as I mentioned, this is the 20th through the 26th. I always like to just jot that down at the top of my expense tracker so that I know. And we're just going to run down the line everything I spent, starting with February 20th. The very first thing was one of the auto pay payments. It was YouTube Premium. That's something that's set up on auto pay. It just comes right out of my account. I don't even have to think about it. That amount was $22.99. Also on the 20th, I went to Walmart and did some shopping. I bought myself, let's see, I don't even remember what I bought. I was going to try to tell you, I don't remember. Definitely, there was a sweatshirt that I purchased, but I cannot remember what else. But it was $31.78. Let's see. And then I had an online purchase at Walmart. This was a pair of sneakers. I do remember that. I wanted to get them in store, but they didn't have my size, so I just ordered them online. And the amount was $17.32. All right. On the 21st, I went and did even more shopping. I went to TJ Maxx. And I bought myself a couple of nail polishes and a makeup brush set, just a couple of things I needed / wanted. So that's going to come out of our spending category. And that was $16.94. I also that day went to PetSmart and bought my puppy, Maple, some dog toys, but that came out of our sinking fund, which moving into March, we're actually making some changes to our budget. We're not going to do sinking funds anymore. So you'll have to be on the lookout for my March budget video. Like I said, that should come out tomorrow. I'll explain a little bit more, but we are shifting some of our priorities in order to speed up our debt payoff process. I'm pretty excited about it. All right. On the 21st, I went to a little local diner. I went with a group of women that I met through Facebook. We have a women's girl gang group looking for friends in the area. I joined the group. They had a breakfast that they were hosting, so I went to that and got to meet some women and have some adult conversation. It was really nice. I had a great time. So that came out of our eating out budget. I spent $14.62 on breakfast that morning. So that actually came first. I went and did the breakfast. It was an early bird breakfast at like 7 a.m. Then after that, I met up with my aunt at Hobby Lobby and just walked around with her for a little while. Then I went to TJ Maxx. I didn't end up buying anything at Hobby Lobby. But then I went to TJ Maxx and PetSmart. It was just like a fun shopping day. And I closed it off. I was gone so long that it was lunchtime by the time I finished everything up. So I went to Taco Bell and grabbed lunch. That also came out of eating out. And that was $9.42. So that was my fun day. I really enjoyed it. On the 22nd, we had an Apple payment come out. That's an auto pay. I think this is for Apple Plus or whatever it's called, the streaming service. My husband signed us up for that, and we had just like 1 or 2 months, and then he canceled it. So this was the last time that should come out, unless we decide to join again. That was $9.99. My husband ran to Jimmy John's. He had a meeting this day, and so he was not in the office at lunchtime. So he just grabbed himself some lunch out. So that came out of eating out. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, we've been doing so much eating out, and it just is what it is. I've come to accept it. $17.25 is what he spent. We had... I had run into Walmart and grabbed just a few groceries. This wasn't like our main grocery trip for the week. It was just a couple of things that we needed. So that came out of our grocery budget. And the amount was $26.89. We had another auto pay thing come out. It was Crunchyroll. My son uses this to watch anime, I think. He does pay us for this. I include the amount that he gives us towards our groceries and towards any bills that he helps pay. I just include that as part of our income, and then I write the bills out as an expense, but he technically pays for this. Anyways, auto pay. And that was $9.99. And then last but not least, we have our groceries. Oh, this was Walmart. This was like our weekly grocery trip on the 26th. And it was $278.73. All right, so now I need to just go through and add everything up, but I forgot to bring in my little highlighters. I like to highlight as I go to help me keep track of everything. So I'm gonna go grab those and I'll be right back. All right, so I grabbed my highlighters. I have my phone here that I'm gonna use to add everything up. So we'll go ahead and start with auto pay. So I will just highlight and add as I go. So first up, we have $22.99 plus $9.99 plus another $9.99 for a total of $42.97. And as always, I realized I forgot to write in the extra debt payment that I made, so I'll have to add that really quick, but this was auto pay. Sometime during this week, I don't remember exactly when, I know I made an extra debt payment of $250. That was our goal, to do $250 each week, and I was able to meet that goal this month, which is very exciting. So I just went ahead and added that as well. So next up, we will do spending, and I will use this pretty blue highlighter for that. The highlighters that I'm using are from Mildliner. They're my favorite highlighters. I love them. All right. We had $31.78 plus $17.32 plus $16.94 plus, oh, was that it? That was it. Okay, so $66.04. Not too shabby. Could have been worse. Spending. All right, then we had eating out. This is where I expect most of our money went this week. So we had $14.62 plus $9.42 plus $17.25. Oh, so that's not terrible. $41.29 in eating out this week. Again, could have been worse. I've seen worse. Last week was worse. So that was eat out. All right, we had groceries next. So we will do this pink color, $26.89 plus $278.73. So yeah, right at that $300 mark again. No surprise there. All right, grocery was $305.62. We didn't have to pay any bills this week other than what came out of auto pay, because it's the end of the month. Most of our bills come out in the first and second weeks of the month. And there are bills that you guys don't see in my budget because I just keep some things private. I don't include absolutely everything in my budget. I used to. If you go back and you watch some of my older budgeting videos, think like 2019, 2020, I used to share like every single detail with you guys. Since then, I've gotten a little more private, pretty much since my husband and I took over the business and I started working full time and adding income and everything. We decided to keep some things more private. And I think you guys understand that. So then the only other thing we have is the extra debt of $250. And so let's get a total for how much we spent this week. $42.97 plus $66.04 plus $41.29 plus $305.62 plus $250, $705.92. All right, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to pull out this expense tracker so that we can use it to help me fill in my week 4. Typically, I would do this in 2 separate videos, but I just want to get it done. So we're just going to combine it all into one like February closeout video. So the categories that I'm going to track are grocery, I guess factor, because we've been doing that all month, even though we didn't have any factor transactions. Eating out. Spending and auto pay. And then down here, I did not fill in week 3. I paid $250 to our extra debt, and week 4 I paid $250. So my goal for February was a total of $1,000 to our credit card debt, and I was able to meet that, which is exciting. Okay, so back to week 4. Let's go. So for groceries, I'm essentially just taking all of this information that I just filled out with you in the expense tracker and plugging it in here. So for groceries, we know we spent $305.62. For factor, we spent nothing. For eating out, we spent $41.29. For spending, $66.04. For auto pay, $42.97. So flipping this over, we can see what we had remaining of our monthly budget. So I'm just going to take that remaining amount from week 3 and subtract what we spent so we can get a feel for what, if anything, is left for the month, and that will help us determine how much we spent throughout the whole month. So let's see if I can do these side by side so you guys can see. Yeah, I think that works. So at the end of last week in our grocery budget, we had $566.07 remaining. This week we spent $305.62. So we still have $260.45 remaining in our grocery budget. And that is just because the first couple of weeks of February, we were really, really stocked up. And so we spent less than I anticipated, which is great. That means that we're going to come in under budget for our groceries by $260.45. And we're going to come in way under budget at factor since I canceled that. So $389.01 we still have remaining there. So that's phenomenal. At the end of January, I was way over budget. So seeing that I'm going to come in under budget in February is fantastic. Of course, February is a much shorter month. That definitely helps. For eating out, the end of last week, we had $225.81 remaining. And we spent $41.29. So that's going to leave us with $184.52 remaining in our eating out budget. And like I said, February's over now. Technically, we have a couple of days left in the month, but those are going to be part of my March budget. So we are coming in over or under budget left and right. All right. The end of last week, we had $325.85 remaining in our spending category. We spent $66.04. So once again, under budget by a lot. Let me just redo that math and make sure I haven't made a mistake. $259.81 remaining. Yeah, we came in way under budget there, which is awesome. And then for auto pay, we had $122.90 remaining. We spent $42.97. So we came in way under budget there as well, which feels really, really good. So we can now use this information to fill in this monthly section because we're done for the month. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to zoom you guys out a touch. Okay, so we know that for the month of February, I budgeted for auto pay here. We'll go with this first, $250. We still have $79.93 remaining, which means we spent a total of $170.07, just doing the backwards math. So I'm actually gonna flip this over and pull this out. I love having all of my worksheets punched and put on these discs because I can easily pull them out, move them around, makes it super duper easy. So we're essentially just going to kind of switch positions here so that you can see and I can see as well. So 170.07 is what we paid in auto pay this month. So significantly under budget. That actually makes me curious to see what I spent last month. So I'm just going to flip really quickly back to my January budget just to get an idea of what I spent last month in auto pay. I know we canceled a couple of things, so it should be pretty close. But yeah, last month we spent $213.41. This month we only spent $170.07. So we did make some cancellations and switch some things around. So that definitely helped with our February budget. Like I said, we have decided to make some changes to our priorities in order to try to pay off our debt quicker. So that definitely is going to help with that. Fill in the groceries now. We had a total of $1,200 in our grocery budget. At the end of the month, we had $260.45 remaining, which means we only spent $939.55, which is amazing. For Factor, we started with $400. We still have $389.01, so we spent, $10.99 in the month. So way under budget there, which feels great. The fact that I'm coming in under budget in all these categories is amazing. Eating out, we started with a $500 budget and we still had $184.52 remaining. So that means we spent $315.48 in the month of February. For spending, we started out with a $600 budget and we still have $259.81 remaining, which means we spent $340.19. For extra debt, I did pay $1,000, as we've already discussed. I did put $1,500 into sinking funds. That was before we decided to pause our sinking funds. In fact, this was the first month we started them back up again, but ultimately we've decided to pause them to focus more on our debt. So the buffer, I'm just going to zero this out because we didn't need to use that buffer since we're significantly under budget. And then I put $25 into savings. I did that because I was planning on doing a savings challenge. I never got around to doing that, so I'm just going to zero this out as well. So now we can just add up this actual column. Remember that we had a total of $8,000 budgeted in all of these various categories. I think we're going to come in significantly under that, which feels good. So let's just add everything up. So we had $765.60 plus $170.07 plus $92.70 plus $212.11 plus $504.81 plus $150 plus $200 plus $55 plus $300 plus $939.55 plus $10.99 plus $315.48 plus $340.19 plus $1,000 plus $1,500. We came in way under budget this month, $6,556.50, which is still a lot of money. And as I mentioned, there are some things on here, or in our budget rather, that I don't list out here, car payments, that sort of thing. But still, like, the main areas in our budget that we have control over are these variable spending categories, these things that I track week to week. And we did really, really well in February. It was a short month. We were sick a lot. That definitely helped us not spend money, I think. I don't expect that we will do this well in March. March is a longer month, and hopefully we will stay healthy. We have a lot of things going on in March, so We'll just have to see how it goes. But for now, I'm going to celebrate this win. I did great in February. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, will you give it a thumbs up? That really helps out my channel. As I said at the beginning, don't forget to subscribe. Check out my channel membership if you're interested. And I'll see you next time. Bye.